A year I have been waiting to review this shoe. Here we go. The ZoomX Ultrafly Trail has been a shoe that I've been testing longer than most any shoe in the history of this channel. Nike sent me this pair almost a year ago after Tyler Green wore it at Western States and finished 4th. He just recently won our Tiger Claw 50 miler and placed 2nd at Western States in the same shoes. So I've had a lot of time to form opinions, test the lifespan, and more in this shoe, and I have a lot to say. First, the weirdly all-white shoe sports some of Nike's extremely popular and deliciously bouncy ZoomX midsole that provides a consistently comfortable ride even after all the miles that I've put on them. A thin carbon plate separates the ZoomX from some fabric-wrapped midsole. The upper is a super durable vapor weave fabric that borders on hot and breathable. While my sample features Nike's older outsole rubber, I am stoked to announce that the Ultrafly will be released with Vibram rubber for all of the grip anyone could dream of. This shoe is going to be Nike's flagship trail racer, and I am super excited by it. But what about the Wild Horse, the Kiger, the Pegasus Trail, the Zagama? Lots to chat about in today's review. Without further ado, let's dive in.
Ginger Runner.
What is up, everybody? Ethan Newberry, the Ginger Runner, here for another Ginger Runner review. I am not exaggerating when I say that I've been waiting to put this review out there for quite some time, perhaps a year, maybe more. By far the longest I've had to wait to put out a review, and honestly, by choice. I was given the green light to put this review out whenever I wanted. I have been testing the shoe for over a year. I just thought now would be good because the shoe is finally dropping. From Nike, it is this, the ZoomX Ultrafly Trail. It's beautiful. Dirty shoe, isn't it? Dirty. Whew. All right, so before we dive into the review, a couple of things. First, consider joining the GR crew. It is our global community of runners, just like yourself. The link in the description will take you over to Patreon. That is how people support this channel, as well as being a part of an amazing community. We do daily live streams. We have big events coming like GR. For the GR crew, we pull the curtain back. I show them how I make all the music that I do on this channel. We show them how we make the movies and all the films. It's a lot of fun, and it's an amazing community of like-minded runners like yourself. Consider joining. Again, link in the description. Second, I have to point out that this shoe was provided for review by Nike. I'm under no obligation whatsoever to say anything positive or negative about this shoe. I am not financially compensated in any way for anything that I say in this review. All opinions are my own. No one has to approve this review. You're the first to see it, so congratulate yourself by patting yourself where you need patting. And let's dive in. I like to talk about the things I like and dislike about every product. Today's no different. What are the things that I like about the ZoomX Ultrafly? The cushion. So this is something that I noticed right out of the box. I knew I was gonna like it. ZoomX is just one of those midsoles that Nike's put out that I've really enjoyed. It just felt really good underfoot. I did a trail tested with this shoe very, very early on in my testing of it, so you can go watch my initial impressions, my very first run in this shoe, and I talk a lot about the ZoomX and sort of how soft and bouncy it was underfoot in that first run. So I just love it. I love what they're doing here, and I hope they continue to just throw it into every shoe that they can, because it's good. Fit. So it's a pretty precision fit. I'll get to more about why that could be a bad thing in a minute, but for now, what I do want to commend them on is just the accommodation that this shoe allows. So there's a nice big wide toe box, plenty of room for your toes to display, plenty of midfoot volume. The upper itself doesn't have a ton of flexion to it, so I think they just made the volume of the upper a bit more accommodating, which is a wonderful thing that I love to see. And the fit for me was really dialed. Once you get those laces pulled down, get that midfoot fit across the top there, you're good to go. Durability. This shoe has over a year of miles on it. I would rotate this in once a week for sure, at minimum, but most times, 2 or 3 runs a week in the early phases of testing. I just put a ton of miles at this point, probably closer to 200 miles, but in all honesty, it is performing better than I expected in a durability department because, I don't know, I feel like Nike sometimes the shoes break down prematurely, the foam starts to flatten out early. In this case, it's just performing how it did at the beginning. I really, really like it. And Vibram. This shoe does not have Vibram. This is one of their early samples, so it has their stock rubber outsole. Imagine there's a big Vibram logo right there. I cannot vouch necessarily for how that Vibram will work on the outsole because I have not tested it, but I have tested Vibram in hundreds of shoes and love it to death. So I can only imagine that Nike's cushioning and Vibram's grip married together will make one hell of a little child. That being said, it's not all summer popsicle parties and references to the 1980s Domino's mascot known as the Noid. There are a couple of things that I dislike about the ZoomX Ultrafly Trail. Let's get to those now. Availability. So it's kind of sucked to have this shoe in my rotation for over a year and not really been able to say like, hey, here's when you're gonna get it. Because Nike really hasn't dropped when they're gonna get it. I totally understand that shoes take a long time to develop. Samples are just the very early stages, and then they have to go to production and blah, blah, blah. It's a whole chain of things that can take years for a shoe to come from prototype to market. In this case, it's finally here. I think we're looking at August, September for full release across the globe. I think it's starting in Europe, but you're finally gonna be able to get your hands on it, and I'm excited. But up until this point, it sucked because it's been unavailable. So it's like, hey, look at this thing, but you can't touch it. And that always sucks. And fit. So yeah, I did mention that it is dialed and it is accommodating, but it does lack flexibility. So one thing that this shoe certainly is designed to do is be a precise fit that once you're set, you're sort of wanting to forget it. There really is no adjustability. The mesh upper doesn't have a lot of give to it, not a lot of stretch, plenty of durability, but you're just gonna wanna make sure that lockdown, the initial lockdown you get into this shoe is comfortable. Because if it doesn't work, it's gonna need adjustment, and that's hard to get in this shoe. There's just thicker, denser, more durable materials used in this upper that are a less forgiving choice, I think is the best way to put it. It's kind of it for dislikes. Let's get a bit more specific in our breakdown. We'd like to talk about the build quality, the comfort, the fit, the price, and the looks. Starting with build quality. So as I've mentioned and have showed, the shoe's actually built pretty damn tough. I've had it over a year. Plenty of miles in it. It started white and is no longer white, as you can plainly see, but that's to be expected. I wish the color choices and color options were more varied. Nike is known for making really good, wild-looking shoes, so I hope that they come out with more variations of this, because the white certainly doesn't look white for very long. Comfort, very comfortable shoe. I think this is a shoe that will last you for any duration of race, so it can work really well for a nice tight and fast 10K or something longer like a 100-miler. Nike athletes, specifically Tyler Green, who I've seen wear this shoe for over a year, he's obviously an outlier. He's an incredibly talented elite athlete. So the amount of wear and tear that he'll put onto these pairs of shoes is vastly different than someone like me. But as a regular size and regular fitness runner, I'm getting tons of joy. And that's a good thing. Fit. Requires some precision dialing, but once you get it in, it's fine. It's more accommodating than I expected, but overall the fit is fine. Just know that it's not gonna be very forgiving. Price, $250. Ugh, I'm tired of trail shoes being over $200. I'm tired of any shoes being over $200. I get it, there's a carbon plate, there's the ZoomX, there's all of these features that make this the race shoe everyone's gonna wanna get. So there's tons of marketing and they've had a year to sort of prepare for the drop of the shoe. And you have athletes who are just crushing trail races in it. Of course it's gonna be hyped. $250 is a lot of money to spend. I've gotten a lot of mileage out of it, so it's one of those few cases where a part of me is just like, you get what you pay for. But that's not always the case. It actually hurts me to say that $250 is like, all right. And I don't have it as a dislike. Ugh, what's wrong with me? $200+ shoe is like, all right, awesome. Stop the presses, Ethan has sold out. That's it. That's all it took. Was a comfortable shoe. And some Vibram outsole, and boy, I'll say anything. And finally, looks. An all-white shoe, we've seen it before. It's not my favorite because it does just show dirt. And if you're looking at like, hey, look at all this dirt that I have on it because I did all these epic runs, that's fine. Carry the story and the color of your shoe. I just really like Nike shoes because they look really cool. This is certainly a statement, but where's all the bright colors and all the fun Nike designs that I'm hoping will come? Bringing us to our conclusion. The shoe is awesome. It's pricey as a motherfucker, but I'm certainly getting plenty of joy out of the miles that I've spent in this shoe, and after a year of wear, there's still bounce, there's still some snap in that carbon plate. There's all the things that I would hope I would still have in this shoe. So one thing I do want to point out is that there's a lot of shoes in that $200+ range that might not last a long time, and I will call those shoes out. In this case, I'm holding proof that the last year I've spent in this shoe has certainly not taken away from its enjoyment, from its joy, from my enjoyment. Here's how I hope this unfolds. I hope this goes on sale at some point. I also hope the tech that they're using in the shoe trickles down. I like the ZoomX in this midsole mixed with this sort of like fabric overlay, the carbon plate, everything that this shoe has going for it, I'd like to see trickle down. Vibram, if Vibram can make its way down through the other trail shoes, whoo, we have some winners. So that's where I'm gonna conclude this. But there is one last criteria, and that is whether or not the ZoomX Ultrafly Trail is a buy, try, or a why. I'm gonna give this a buy. I can't believe I'm saying that a shoe that is $250 is a buy. Get it on sale. Use the coupon code if you're a GR crew member over at Running Warehouse. Like, do whatever you can to get some money off, because $250 is a lot of money, and I want to save you money. But I do feel like this shoe is super fun, and it's lasting longer than I would have expected. You throw that Vibram in there, and boom, I think we have ourselves a shoe that can work in all sorts of conditions. Tyler Green is proof in the pudding, and he ran Tiger Claw, won it in these damn things, and it was so great to see him do what he does best in person. So that's it for today's review. The table's now turned to you, my friends. Have you had any insight into the Ultrafly Trail here? Is there a shoe that you are looking forward to most? Are you looking forward to this one? Because I am, and it's now available soon for you. If you want any more information, if you would like to get a pair of the Ultrafly for yourselves, there is a link in the description that will take you over to Running Warehouse. It is an affiliate link, but it costs you nothing, and it helps the channel, so please consider using it for all of your running gear. And again, if you are a GR crew member, there are discount codes that will get you more money off everything that you want to buy running related over at Running Warehouse as well. So consider joining the crew. Link in the description. All of that good stuff. That's it. Hope you're getting out there, training hard, racing harder, and partying the hardest. I know I am. We'll see you guys next time for more fun. Bye. Ginger.